Hello, welcome to WonderCon 2023. I'm Heidi MacDonald of The Beat. Want to give a big shout out to our sponsors this year, Bad Idea. So thanks again, Bad Idea. We are here. We are talking to Amy Chu. Hi, Amy.
Hi, Heidi.
So, Amy, are you the queen of Artist Alley?
What do you say that for?
No, I am joking, and people hate it when I say that. But I am going to say, I do think you do more shows than almost anyone I know.
Really? No. Keith Williams does more shows. You know, Keith, he does like a show every week. There's definitely other road warriors out there. I just social media a lot more often than people.
So yes, and your Insta is full of your travels around this great nation of ours and around the world.
Right. Well, Insta, and more increasingly, I am doing TikTok. I am doing more video because people like the video. You know, I don't dance or anything, but I do like to do show walkthroughs. You know, and I think that's what people are interested in. So I like to think of myself as more National Geographic of Comic-Cons.
That's amazing. Wow. You just came back from Alaska Comic-Con.
I did. Alaska Comic-Con in Fairbanks, and that was really quite an experience.
Did you have local cuisine there?
I did. I had reindeer. It was quite delicious. It was more tender than I would have expected.
Would you compare it more to chicken or?
No. It was very red meat. Rudolph was tasty. Yeah.
So, well, we're back here at WonderCon, but are you set up here or?
No. Actually, this is one show where I would prefer. I do set up, but I set up at the poolside by the Marriott. It is much more conducive because in Southern California, you want a little vitamin D. I can get work done, and as you said, I do a lot of shows, and probably should not be doing as much. But this is one show where I like to chill a little bit more and not being on the show floor with everyone else. Because I am a writer, not an artist. I feel like it's a little bit, people get confused. There's only so much I can sell on the floor. It's just I sign, and if somebody really asks me for a bad sketch, I might do it. But for the most part, I'm really there to see my friends, do a little networking, with Bad Idea last night.
Are you? Have you worked for Bad Idea?
No, I have not. But somehow I got swept up in a dinner last night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So well, that's we could be seeing you then. Bad Idea. Bad Idea, Amy.
They did sponsor me for a few drinks.
Well, big thanks again. We don't.
Thank you, Bad Idea.
So, Amy, how do you pack for shows? Okay, what is your con fashion philosophy?
Okay, sure. So it depends. If I'm at a show as a guest, if they fly me out, I don't have to worry about luggage or anything. So it's a little bit different. This show, because honestly, I flew budget. I did my flight from Philadelphia to Las Vegas was $58. I did a signing, and as you know, did I say Frontier? It was actually Spirit.
Oh my God, I gotta find out about this.
Spirit, $58, which means I could only carry a backpack. And so if you really want to know, right, I did tend to travel light anyway. Hence another reason I'm not tabling. I need a whole setup. But $58, no luggage. I pack a couple outfits. I roll them up. I squish them in. I'm not carrying heels or anything, if you really want to know. But it works just fine. I carry a few comics, some Sharpies, my toiletries, the basic makeup. And $18 from Las Vegas to John Wayne Airport. Right?
Wow.
Yeah, so
It cost me the cab to go from my house to the train station.
Yeah, so I kind of get a thrill out of doing this kind of budget travel, as if I were a student, and I'm not a student anymore, obviously. But yeah, one backpack, and I'm good, But you have to be really disciplined about what you carry. So I carry a couple pairs of earrings, some little accessories, but I keep it really minimal.
You did mention Spirit Airlines. Now, I asked on my Facebook page what it is like to fly Spirit, and the horror stories just unfolded. So, have you flown them before?
Yeah.
What happened? What happens to you on Spirit Airlines?
I flew, in fact, my first experience flying, I've flown it a couple times now, and it's all been good for me. I flew to because it turns out the Des Moines Con, there is one direct flight from Newark to to Des Moines, and it's a fabulous flight. The only other way to fly else, I would have to go through Chicago, and I live in between Philadelphia and Newark, so I can pick and choose which,
Very convenient.
So it's very convenient, and again, I think it was like a $60 flight.
Don't they torch you on Spirit? Once you get on there, don't they somehow like cram you into a little box? Or is it terrible things that happen?
So if you understand what it's a la carte, if you have that expectation, especially if you're only paying, a fraction of anything, your expectation is no frills. You don't care about being in a middle seat potentially, and manage expectations. Okay, that's what you got.
Fair enough. This is great. Obviously, Amy is an expert in travel tips and conning and everything, but you are a writer. You are, an excellent writer. You have a lot of fabulous projects out. So CARMILLA just came out. This was from Berger Books, right? And with the artist
Soo Lee.
Soo Lee, who's amazing. Okay. But you worked with the legendary Karen Berger. What was that like?
Well, bucket list, right? She is, I can say this, she's the best editor I've ever worked with. So, it sounds so trite, right? Dream come true. When you start off trying to break in as aspiring writer and all these things, this is one of those, one of the I didn't buy a lot of comics, when I was in college, it's just one of those, vertigo is what I knew, right? And it would never have occurred to me that I would even be able to do this. So, and to also have her reach out to me, that was also really strange.
Right, that's amazing.
That was definitely like, wait, what? Do you have the right person? And it was a San Diego Comic-Con story. She's like, oh, let's have lunch. It's like, let's have lunch. I'm like, yeah, I'll have lunch with Karen, for sure. Yeah, that was really kind of surreal. So the genesis of CARMILLA was from that lunch. This would have been 2019, I believe. 2019, and again, because I need vitamin D, I need to sit outside in the sunshine, and we're out there in the marina having salads. It's very California. And she's just kind of like, oh, do you have any ideas? That's one of those moments where I'm like, oh, crap.
Didn't you come prepared? I mean, hadn't you been in your hotel room all night, perfecting your, just in case Karen Berger asks you?
I should have been, but it wasn't super clear to me necessarily what was going on, because it was a very like, oh, let's have lunch kind of thing. But I did had this idea, and that's when you it's true, you should be more prepared than I was. But I had been thinking about the story of CARMILLA, which actually came out before Dracula. So Dracula is really based on CARMILLA. CARMILLA is a kind of vampire. It's just that Dracula is the male version of CARMILLA. So it kills me that we see a lot of Dracula with CARMILLA as a sidekick, when in fact Dracula was really based on the CARMILLA story to begin with. And that type of vampire. And I was just like, why are we not doing more of that? Why is Dracula way more famous than CARMILLA when she came first, right? And so that's essentially how I kind of pitched to Karen. And Karen was like, she didn't know that either. And then she also said, well, vampires always sell. Let's do it. No, she didn't say it like that. She said, let's write it up, and let's see.
Well, I mean, it's a step in the right direction if you have a popular topic that people will be interested in.
You got to do the pitch after that, a real written pitch, and then she's got to like nominally run it through some people. But she sold, and part of that selling is that she didn't know that background story. She went and checked it out, make sure I don't make it up, but and yeah, she was definitely intrigued. So. Yeah.
So what's been the response? It's out in collection now, right?
It was never. So here's the thing. It was. I think the thinking was, as most, the default is let's do a mini and then do the collection, and I think it became apparent. And this is the business model, right? A lot of people are going towards this. Is why are we even doing that? Let's just go straight to trade paper.
Straight to trade. Wow. Oof.
Trade. And I'm like, well, this is how I write for trade anyway, in chapters. So it wasn't a big deal. Because remember, this is 2019, and then we had COVID. And she's like, well, you know what?
Oh, right.
Let's go straight to trade, if that's okay with you all, And I think that worked. that worked just fine for me because it's not like a huge, right? Think of it as 4 chapters, you know. And it was also a modern retelling, if I can say that, right? You know, what if Carmilla lived today as she would, you know? But the real premise is, what if she were in New York? And it's based in the 90s, New York City, Chinatown.
The 90s are hot now, very hot.
Yeah, which I didn't really realize. It was more that, you know, if you actually do a story today, it's really problematic. Everyone's got cell phones. Everyone's like, you know, anything that happens, if you're a vampire, it's a problem, right? Because you're trying to do something, everyone's got a cell phone. And so we can't do it. 90s is a good time to do something. It's a little grittier. It's a time.
So they say.
Yeah. We wouldn't know that time anyway. Yeah. We were like, oh, it feels very authentic.
Yeah, I wonder what it was like in the 90s. I wish, you know, I look at the stuff and I'm like, oh, I wish I'd been there. Yeah.
How did you get references for that time? Well, you know.
Well, that's awesome. Amy, thank you so much. Just a brief, you know, stopping by here. And, you know, we need to, at the Beat, we've just launched our happy hour feature, which is going to be ongoing, where we have even longer Zooms and you can step in and ask questions. So, Amy, would you like to be in a happy hour?
Of course, I would love to be in any happy hour.
Absolutely. Well, I know. And then we can have a real happy hour. Amy and I have an ice cream date.
Yes, we do.
And now that's warming up back in New York. So
It's about time we do that, yes.
Yeah, we got to have that ice cream. So once again, want to just thank our sponsors, Bad Idea. Obviously, you know, bought a drink for Amy, sponsoring our videos.
Multiple drinks, actually, so that's what I'm saying.
Well, no, you know, don't expect this all the time. Anyway, Amy, thank you so much again. Enjoy the rest of your WonderCon by the pool. And thank you. Thank you for coming to WonderCon and watching our coverage.